Like, you're right, he's not necessarily worth $30+ million. But the other side also, I think, in terms of accepting who he has become, I'm on that side in terms of Wiggins, because he was once a player that I lost belief in, but he has changed that by becoming the new version of himself with Golden State. The Mismatch, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Another big Andrew Wiggins game.
Oh, for goodness sakes. You know, I start to get, tweets and whatnot about this. Let me just make this clear right off the bat. I got nothing against this guy, okay? Nothing against this guy.
And Chris, anytime you say something mildly negative or that goes against what the everybody likes to think, you're always trying to be pushed to agree with them. So don't worry about the Wiggins hate that you got last year. You're all good. People
or this year, like or anytime he does anything that is a minor contribution to winning.
Anytime. I get tagged in these too, Chris. I see him as well. I probably don't see all of them, though.
Look, I didn't want to get angry today, Kev, but let me just say this, all right? Can we stop for one moment every time the guy contributes at all to winning? Anytime he does anything, being surprised because he makes $32 million. He started the All-Star game. He's the fourth option on a Warriors team. Like, this is not he was the number one pick in the friggin' draft. And everybody's like, oh, look, Andrew Wiggins contributed. Well, I'd hope so. He makes $32 million. Right. He was the number one pick in the draft. Like, what the hell is going on? He's not a undrafted free agent from Pomona that, is like, wow, I can't believe that Austin Reeves hit a game-winning shot. Like, what are we doing here? Like, congratulations. You contributed to winning on a team that's going to pay $1 billion in luxury tax so they can afford to have a $32 million fourth option.
Okay.
Congrats.
All right. Okay.
Let's have a party.
I'm glad that you got that out of your system, because the thing with Andrew Wiggins is because he was the number one pick. He came in, people are calling him Maple Jordan. He has number one pick expectations, and he flopped. He didn't meet those expectations. He's not the guy. He's not a key player. He's not a superstar. But what I find admirable with Wiggins is the fact that despite those expectations, despite the fact he got that big max contract, he fails, he gets traded, and he goes to this Warriors team and he embraces the role. Steph Curry talked about this after last night's game, where he has embraced doing the little things, putting in extra effort, making the extra pass, taking smarter shots, cutting to the rim. These are all things that he didn't do at a high level at all in Minnesota. It was the opposite. He was a shot chucker who made poor decisions on the floor, was inconsistent defensively, and now he's changed all that to become the best player that he can be for this Warriors team. And so in that sense, I find that commendable that Wiggins has turned himself into this player where he doesn't need to have big nights every game for the Warriors, but sometimes he can, and he can also be consistently impactful on defense. So I think you're both sides are right. Like, you're right, he's not necessarily worth $30+ million. But the other side also, I think, in terms of accepting who he has become, I'm on that side in terms of Wiggins, because he was once a player that I lost belief in, but he has changed that by becoming the new version of himself with Golden State. So that's impressive. And it's really a testament to this entire Warriors team, isn't it, Chris? Like, isn't it kind of like this whole team is about sacrifice and embracing your roles?
Yeah.
It always has been.
Look, it is commendable. I guess my cynical point of view is, what are you going to do? You going to go out there and try to take 20 shots on a team with Steph Curry on it? I mean, you don't really have a choice in the matter. If you're going to survive and you're going to thrive.
But Chris, like, when we first had our argument, what was it, 2 years ago? Like 2 years ago, maybe? We first had our argument about, like, does this make any sense for Golden State? And like you said, he won't be there in a year. I mean, I think there are a lot of people who agreed with you at the time. And I was the one who looked goofy for saying, well, maybe a minimized role, he could turn into something. And I didn't know for sure it would work out. We know how many times guys get asked to do stuff they don't normally do and it never works. But with Golden State, the system they have there, the infrastructure with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, the level of buy-in that Golden State roster has, I thought Steph Curry nailed it last night. He has learned how to find joy in the winning, by doing the things that lead to winning and what that feeling has for an individual and for the collective. That's what we're seeing from this Wiggins evolution into a high-level role player, Harrison Barnes type of guy, rather than somebody people called Maple Jordan, and he went number 1 in the draft. He's not a number 1 pick. He still will go down as a player who didn't meet the number 1 pick expectations of a franchise, face of the franchise. But to see him doing what he did last night for the Warriors and has done for, a long time now is highly impressive, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, I certainly did not expect them to have a $180 million payroll, in fairness to myself.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, they showed why last night, didn't they, though, Chris? 112-87. They did show why in last night's game with their defense on Luka. They threw the kitchen sink at him, man.
There's no
crazy
question.